Welcome to our posts today. We will see stories of r/TrueOffMyChest. I wish someone else saved my boyfriend's life. My BF had a sudden cardiac arrest in our home earlier this year. One minute we were about to eat dinner, the next he was on the floor without a pulse. I called 911 immediately and administered CPR until the EMS arrived 13 minutes later. BF's alive. He has a brain injury he is still recovering from. I'm so glad he is alive and has another chance in life. I'm really glad I was able to do what I needed to so swiftly at the time, but I wish it wasn't me. My family calls me a hero. Doctors said he'd be dead if it weren't for me. Friends have too. I got a Citizen Life-Saving Award from our city's fire rescue. I look so miserable in the photos from that award ceremony. I can see how forced my smiles were and how dead my eyes were, and I still feel that way. It all feels hollow. I feel weird hearing all this. I know if my BF were more aware right now, he'd be such a hyperman. He'd call me cool. Of course, she's the one who saved my life. I'm glad it was her. We've been best friends for 10 years, and I just know how he feels about me and how he would respond. Friends have told me as much, and I know they are right. But I still feel hollow. I know that isn't how he'd want me to feel either, but I do. I've done a lot of EMDR and talk therapy over various traumas associated with that night and things that have happened since. It has definitely helped. But I still hear my screams in my head, I still see what his face looked like, I still feel his chest under my hands and his lips taking in the air from mine. I choked on food a while ago, legitimately could not breathe, and I panicked more thinking about my BF's sudden cardiac arrest than the fact that I was maybe about to die. I just wish someone else was the one to do it. Which sucks cause I don't want others feeling how I feel. I hate the memories associated with that night, and I hate feeling the weight of someone's life in my hands. I don't know how paramedics, firefighters, doctors, etc. do this on the daily. Just wanted to vent somewhere. It's been a day. Edit. I was hoping for maybe 5 people saying it's gonna be okay and was not expecting this response. Thank you, everyone. I'll read through the comments and respond to things more after work. Edit 2. There are many comments, but I just want to say that I have read them all. I'm so sorry so many people have similar feelings, but at the same time, it is nice in some way to know I am not alone in them. I don't know a single other person who has gone through something like this, so it has long been very lonely. Thank you everyone for your kind words, resources, and reassurance. I'll keep pushing forward, and I hope everyone else experiencing this can too. Next story. My ex got revenge on me in the worst way possible, and I have no way to clear my name. Last year, I cheated on my ex-girlfriend of 8 years Annie with a colleague Jess, who I now have a 3-week-old son with. I have no excuse. It cost me my job and the majority of my friendships, along with the love of a good woman. I deserved it all, and I have never expected any sympathy for my actions. Annie delivered my stuff to my parents' house before I even knew she knew about the cheating. She didn't even confront me. She just cut me out of her life without a word. I messaged everyone we knew begging them to ask her to talk to me, and I sent hundreds of messages telling her how much I regretted everything and wanted her back. I never got a response. Jess saw the messages, and it obviously caused issues between us in the beginning. But she fell pregnant quickly, so we moved past it for the sake of our family together, which we both wanted. I am 100% committed to the relationship and haven't even looked at another woman since things settled down. In the final stretch of Jess' pregnancy, about a month ago, I saw Annie in a shop for the first time since the breakup. She was pretty cold towards me, but said that a few months ago, she found a keychain my granddad got me when I was very young. It's not valuable, but she knows it means a lot to me, and she said I could come collect it the following Saturday morning. I explained that was 6 days after Jess was due to give birth, so I'd probably need to be home. But she just said I could either get it on Saturday or it was going in the bin, so I agreed a time to go over. My son was born a few days late, but he's perfectly healthy and wonderful. so he was less than 24 hours old on the Saturday I needed to collect the keychain. I planned to pop in on the way to the hospital, but when I got to my old house, Annie invited me in to talk about how things ended between us. I thought we had a good conversation and that both of us walked away with closure. She let me apologize for the way I treated her, wished me the best with my new family, and hugged me as I left. I admit I held on tightly for the hug, but it was purely because of the relief, not lingering feelings. I spent less than an hour at her house, then headed to the hospital. I didn't tell Jess about any of this because I know she still feels insecure about Annie, and I didn't want to add fuel to that. When I arrived at the hospital after seeing Annie, Jess had revoked my access, and the ward manager wouldn't tell me why. I ended up being removed by a security guard because I was denied seeing my son for the second time ever and didn't respond well to being blindsided. I tried calling Jess and her mom over and over, and the only response I got was a screen recording of a message from Annie. It was doorbell footage of me walking through the door at 9:30, then back out just after 10:15. And the hug is only partly caught, so it does look like we could have been kissing. The message Annie sent with it said, "Did he even shower and change his clothes between me and holding his son? Congratulations on being stuck with him for the next 18 years. I hope it's everything you dreamed of." No one believes this is a setup at all. It's something I would never have expected from Annie, and no one else would either, so they're completely rejecting the idea that this is a lie. I sent her a message asking why she did this, assuming I'd still be blocked. Her response was that she wasn't going to let me play innocent, and that I may have deleted all of our messages over the past few months, but she hasn't. Obviously, there are no messages, but she blocked me again straight after, so I have nothing at all to exonerate myself with. She waited in silence for almost a year, then took the most cruel and vindictive revenge she possibly could. I have met my son once, minutes after he was born, and now Jess is refusing any contact with me and won't let me see him. Court will take months and my heart hurts every minute of every day. I know what I did to Annie was horrible, but I don't deserve this. I have no one to talk to about it because not even my own mother believes me. Her only question was why I ruined my life with a baby when Annie was willing to reconcile. And that's about the most supportive thing she's said to me since I was dumped. The few friends who stuck with me are assuming the worst too, and it's killing me that not a single person I know sees this for what it is. Everything is ruined. Next story. My parents installed a hidden camera in my house without me knowing. Recently, my parents visited my condo. For the past few months since I've bought it, they visited me regularly just to talk. And so I thought it was just another visit. And it was until I saw something plugged in my living room. Me and my fiancé, I'm 25F, he's 22M, clean our place once a week, so I didn't see it until now. And it was a nanny cam. I unplugged it and I called my parents about it, and they said they didn't know anything about it. I believed them at first, but when my fiancé told me that they were the only people that had been in our place in the past week, I asked them again, and then they confessed. Their reasoning was honestly appalling, and to put it simply, they wanted to make sure I wasn't having sex. We got in a really big argument, and I've told them to not visit me for a while, but they told me they'd do it anyways, and that we'd have a talk in person about me not being compliant. I'm a grown butt woman, there is no valid reason for them to break my trust and put a secret camera in my house. I honestly don't feel comfortable seeing my parents for a long time. They were already pushing their boundaries IMO with a lot of the comments they say about my fiancé. They've said on numerous occasions he was a jerk, which is gross. The only person that's convinced me to still let them see me these past few months is literally my fiancé, and yet they still disrespect both him and his culture regularly. As far as I'm concerned, if he's not open to seeing them, I have no reason to see them for some time either. Next story. I don't think I want to be trans anymore. Edit and clarification: BC people can't see my comment. I have had zero medical transition as of right now. All medical intervention is planned, and I have appointments for it as of next year. But right now I am still 100% biologically a female. I'm 19, born a girl, and came out as trans waiting to be a boy when I was 12. I've been living as a male since then and pass quite well. My voice is the only thing that gives me away as trans really. But recently I met a guy. He thought I was a girl and I went along with it, even telling him a different girly name. He completely thinks I'm a girl, just got short hair, nothing about transness. It's been like 3 months now, and I've created profiles online pretending to be a girl to see how it is, and I literally dream about what if I was a pretty girl. I don't know if I'm trans and should be a boy, or if I was just self-loathing BC. I was fat, and now I'm very much not. After I lost weight, I started feeling more uncomfortable again, but uncomfortable that my outside didn't match my body. My head is so confused, and I have appointments lined up for process of transitioning. When I picture myself in my head as an adult, I can't see myself being a woman, but at the same time right now, I don't think I want to pretend to be a man anymore. I want to wear cute little bras and leg warmers and be treated like a girl, but I don't know if this is all in my head or not. I need serious help, RN. I'm also worried BC, my ex, who was also trans, detransitioned weeks before we broke up, and I'm scared it's just the trauma of our relationship pulling through. But at the same time, when I came out as a boy, it was just after my dad left, so what if it is all a manifestation of trauma? I'm scared. I don't want to ruin my life, and my gender is the cause of it. Another edit. I just want to say thank you to everyone commenting and telling me what they think. I didn't come for advice and was only expecting like 4 comments, but seeing what everyone has to say is extremely helpful. I am on the waiting list for therapy and have been in and out of therapy all my life since I was 10. I also want to say I don't condone any transphobia or the opposite. Keep it friendly. I'm happy this has caused a good discussion, and thank you all, much love. Next story. My boyfriend's coworkers joked about killing me in their work chat. My boyfriend and I got into a fight about his job yet again. I noticed he was texting a lot after the fight, so once he went to sleep, I went through his phone. I saw the first few texts of them calling me names and saying I'm self-sabotaging things. But then it turned dark. One coworker said he should roofie me, so I just sleep and leave him alone. The next one said she knows how to place a catheter, a feeding tube, and Roman 4 so they could knock me out and not kill me. But then her next text made my heart stop. She said they could just chloroform me, pull all my teeth out, and feed me to pigs so nothing was left. The next coworker said her grandparents do have a pig farm. My boyfriend said, "Elmao, no, that's great." And of course they all immediately said they were all joking. I packed quickly and quietly, grabbed my daughter and left. Now my entire life as I knew it is over. I feel like I'm overreacting. I know the police can't actually do anything, so I can't even report it because they never said my name or anything like that. I'm just scared and sad. This is awful. I'll be attaching the pics to my profile if anyone wants to see the actual messages. Edit. I have actually talked with him after unblocking him. Didn't tell him anything, but he claims it was a joke. No one actually threatened me, they were all just venting, and I'm overreacting like always. And he isn't going to argue with the voices in my head. Still not going back, but I'm letting him incriminate himself more. He also claims I was never supposed to see the messages anyway. That's his safe place, and I ruined that for him. Next story. Marriage is falling apart after a failed threesome with my husband's best friend. I'm not a sexually adventurous person. I admit that. After 20 years of the same thing, my husband wanted to spice things up. My husband wanted to try out the experience of new people. Our first threesome was with a woman we both knew was very sexually open. She was a former coworker. It was for my husband's birthday. It was fine even if it wasn't my cup of tea, but I just kept waking up with flashbacks to the event months after. Then it was a threesome with a man, and my husband suggested his best friend Z. I didn't have objections, but maybe I should have. Looking back at it, I wasn't ready to be the center of attention. The first threesome was easier because I didn't have to participate much, and I could just withdraw and let my husband and the coworker do their thing. This one was just way too much and in my face, but I tried to put a smile on. After a couple minutes of foreplay, my husband needed to take a break because he hadn't eaten, and he told Z and I to continue while he grabbed a snack. We continued, but Z suddenly asked me if I was okay. I just started crying, and he immediately stopped what he was doing and asked what was wrong. That only made me cry harder. I felt really ashamed and embarrassed and overwhelmed, and I couldn't articulate why at that point. He helped me clean up and put my clothes back on and just hugged me until I felt better and more calm. Z asked me again what was wrong and asked if he made me feel uncomfortable, and I had to explain that it was just overwhelming with having 4 hands on me and being with someone else other than my husband, and having to see him with someone else and sleeping with a friend, and I was just not ready. My husband came back later and joked that he missed the action and if I was ready for round 2. Z told him I wasn't ready for anything and that it was a bad idea. They ended up having a back and forth about when was a good time, and I barely remember what they said. It's been a couple of months since that, and my husband and I have agreed on no more threesomes, and he apologized that it was a disaster. I feel guilty for being attracted to Z. My husband's always been slightly insecure if his partner prefers Z over him since his first girlfriend tried to cheat on him with Z. Maybe the threesome was a way to placate his feelings and make him feel more secure that I wasn't going to do that. But I harbored no attraction to Z before the threesome. But I can feel our marriage crumbling. I keep having flashbacks to him and his coworker. And I just keep remembering Z comforting me while my husband made stupid jokes about round 2 and missing the action. Next story. My mom exposed my little sister live online, and it's disgusting. Throwaway account. I haven't seen my mom in years, but I still have 2 younger sisters living with her. Anna 18F, Kate 15F. Yesterday Anna called me when I was at work, and when I did she was crying. She said she was out with her friends when she checked Kate's Instagram live to see her, and what she said was her BF being cussed out by my mom. We talked for a little bit, but we both had to go, so she sent me screen recordings of the live. When I got to watch it was effing gross. It wasn't the full live, but for almost 10 minutes my mom was filming Kate on her Instagram account on probably her phone. She was with her BF, both of them basically half naked, and my mom was cursing both of them out for being pigs. She was saying to the camera that she caught them, and that Kate was never allowed to use social media again. She was also saying really weird stereotypes to her boyfriend. Then the live abruptly ended. I'm so mad at my mom, and I'm honestly scared to think what else she did. All she did was embarrass 2 teenagers in front of their friends, one of the kids being her own ducking kid, for something that in no way warranted a response like what she did. I tried to call my mom about it, but she hasn't answered, and both of my sisters aren't answering. I want to see something happen because holy crap, this pisses me off. Next story. There's someone else living inside my body. This will be tricky to explain. Around 3 years ago, as I was getting ready to go to one of my classes, I looked into the mirror to make sure I looked presentable. I stared into my face and felt frozen in place. I couldn't look away for the life of me, and after what I'd say were 15 whole minutes of just looking into my face, I began moving against my will. At first I just started making faces, like opening my mouth all the way and tilting my head, and then my body started moving even though all my limbs felt numb. I realized that my vision was getting progressively blurrier, and I began hearing things as if I were underwater. I don't recall much of that day as I spent the entire day being stuck in that weird place. All I remember was feeling the outside wind hit my body and hearing myself talking to someone. Ever since that happened, it's been happening more and more often. Staring into the mirror usually triggers this switch, that's what I call it, though I doubt it's anything DID related. Even just looking at photos or videos of myself causes it as well. Only recently has this other version of me that controls me during these episodes had started talking to me. It started out as them comforting me during depressive episodes and guiding me through my social anxiety. I've noticed they tend to speak to me more often when I'm drawing painting. I didn't know how I felt about this new voice. I knew it wasn't mine. They sounded so much different than my own inner voice. Whenever they talked, I got caught off guard. I knew it wasn't me. I knew I couldn't tell anyone about this, and I still haven't said a thing to anyone, I guess not until now, because even now typing it out it's so hard to properly explain this. I don't even know what they are, not their gender or their name. All I know is the way they speak inside my head and how they sound. I only know they are the person that controls me during my derealization episodes because they've asked me if I could stare into the mirror for them multiple times, wanting to cause this switch. This has been happening since the beginning of the year and has gotten worse in the sense that this person has been speaking more often, almost daily. I cannot tell anyone about this, not anyone that can do anything about it, Earl at least. I've written down all these thoughts and kept notes on what this voice says, and I sound insane even to myself reading back on it. I don't hate this voice. I honestly don't want to get rid of it, as it's not really impacting me in any negative way, but it's still very odd and I have no idea what or why this is happening. Edit. Wasn't expecting this post to get this much attention. I've been reading your comments and over half of them are just telling me to speak to a professional. I'm broke. I can't do therapy long term. However, what did catch my attention was the alarming amount of people saying it might be a brain tumor, which I will get checked out for once I check with my insurance company. I'll try to reply to as many people as I feel comfortable with answering. I don't really want to share much on here, as I only use Reddit as a way to anonymously vent and check out Stardew Valley fanart. Thanks to those who shared their own experiences and reached out to me to send me informative links. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share, and subscribe the channel. Our posts